Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Erasmus Expeditions. We are here tonight with a very special Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, Evermore le Masquerade. This is session 25 and is going to be titled And Fire Shall Reap. This is a game that takes place in a world of mine called Rostveen, in particular a kingdom called Gerdes, where we are kind of basing things on the Baroque periods of Spain, France, and Venice, with a little bit of Orlais from the Dragon Age series kind of mixed in. Yeah, this is a really special culture in my homebrew world. I've wanted to explore this place for a long time, and I've been having a lot of fun doing that with this group of players. So I'm very excited to be getting back to this game. But before we do, I want to go ahead and give the same warning that I give in the beginning of all my games, and that is if foul language and mature subject matter are problems for you, then this is not a great game for you to watch. In particular, this game is going to come about as close as you can to showing suggestive sex without getting illicit. So it's a part of the culture. It is a feature of this game. And if that's a problem for you, then either skedaddle or deal with it. So yeah, I'm going to pass things over to my players so that they can introduce themselves, say what they might have going on, where you might be able to find them on the internet, and then we are going to kick things off. So we're going to start this time with Karen.
Hello, everyone. Karen, also known as Myth and Gears. Where can you find me? You can find me here. And if not here, then over at Mini Terrain Domain, which is where I also play. I don't know what else to say. I'm very excited about getting back to this game and can't wait. I do play Cameron Ruiz Gonzala, who has so many other names that it's exhausting right now to name them all. But eventually, maybe we'll find them all. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know them all. I'm going to pass it on to Austin.
Hi, I'm Austin, and I will be playing Guillaume de Listote. I am not known by any other names, nor is my character. I guess my character could be known by the name Ratman. But that's only if you're feeling nasty. I always want to just fuck up the order and throw it somewhere weird, but I'm just gonna go. I'll go along with the flow and pass it. It's always hard to figure out which direction this is to M.
Hi, I'm Em. I am playing Sylvie Levine tonight, and I'm so stoked to be able to go back into this game and play. And yeah, last week has been tough, so I'm very excited to be able to get away for a little bit. So I'm just so excited. I will pass it on to Matt.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matt, and as always, tonight I'm playing Loxley LaCroix, who is not known by any other names that we know of yet. Still a big mystery there. I'm really excited to play tonight. Like Em just said, it has been quite the week, quite the month leading up to this game. So I'm really looking forward to just rolling some dice and having some fun tonight. So I will go ahead and pass it off to Kenya.
Hello, I'm Kenya, Acerson on the interwebs, and I am playing Vera Marian Wynn Mesonero, who is a bard and recently discovered a changeling and the matron of the high-class brothel in the city. So always good times here. I have a tendency to lean more towards that how much sex can we talk about without being explicit side of things. So it comes up a lot. I also am super excited to be here. I did not have a terrible week, but I missed these folks dearly since the last time we were together. So I am just super excited to be here because, well, gosh darn it, I like these people. So I'm going to throw it back over to Jeremy. Whew, that way. All you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate that. These are all very terrific people, in general. They're also happen to be very gifted players, so I'm very, very excited always to sit down across the table, virtually, of course, from each of them, and yeah, continue this story. If there are any kind of links that anybody might have mentioned, you should be able to find them in the description of this video. Do take the time to go check them out, show them some love. All right, speaking of love, let's get it on. Y'all ready? All right.
Fire is not terrifying merely because of its destructive nature. It can indeed be devastating when something burns, for it is forever changed, lost to us in a way. When a thing is reduced to naught but coal and ash, we may miss being able to hold it. A home destroyed by fire may create a feeling of vulnerability or a loss of a place to belong. A person who feels a flame's vicious bite may forever be afraid of its kiss. But no, fire is most terrifying because its need to consume knows no bounds. Left unchecked, it spreads in all directions like a hunter on the prowl, and its belly is never full.
We pull through the open roof of a burned husk of a building. The charred remnants of its roof supports like charred ribs of some carcass. The stone rubble lies strewn about, gathered into neat piles as best it can be. There are still clay roof tiles in place here and there, scorched black. Even in the moonlight, we can tell what has been touched by fire and what hasn't inside of this cathedral. As we pull down inside of the cathedral and through over the altar, the length of the building, and we see row upon row of burnt and slightly buried pews, we can see the devastation that's been caused here. Straight through the open set of double doors that are nothing more than charred pieces of coal, broken open. We find ourselves once again in the streets of the city of Mancholona, a rather large urban sprawl here in the shadow of the mountains that are to the northwest. This town, this city, at night is empty. Everywhere we travel as we are entering the city again is devoid of any sign of life. Even the rats don't seem to really be eager to roam the streets. We rejoin the group of you, still, I believe, at the hen yard, where you have gotten a room and have kind of hunkered down for the night. This night has not been without its own events, however, as this night you have slain not one, not two, but 3 female vampires who you have been told are the brides of the Padre Primero. So, as we catch back up with your group, having slain these vampires, where are you now? What are you doing? What is the conversation that is happening amongst you? Y'all have to talk now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I feel like maybe we've moved back up to the room, and Vera is probably sitting there, and kind of just checking everybody over to make sure everyone's okay, injuries and the like. And she looks at the rest of the group and, well, we did it, but they're probably not dead. We saw this mist leave, so I mean, does anyone know how long it takes for them to come back? Is this, we have to deal with them tomorrow?
From what I've read, I think we have about an hour before they'll be able to fully regenerate themselves if they get themselves back to their resting place. So if you want us to actually be able to take them on, we need to move like right now. But we need, like, were you watching where they went? I tried to keep an eye, but it was hard to tell. Like, I mean, I don't
saw
know
where they went. I think I can get us there.
But would we be going into more of them? I don't know if we have enough time to do the amount of reconnaissance that we need to be able to really finally permanently kill those 3 tonight.
An hour?
That's what I know. I mean, I could be wrong. Everything I've read could be completely wrong.
You can do a lot with an hour.
I mean, yes, but we're not here for that right now.
It takes
Okay,
Locks a
that's
second
probably-
to clue into what you were talking about, and then he's like, "Oh, well, yeah."
It'll take us a good part of that hour just to even get there.
I mean, I'm kind of drained, but the last thing we want is for them to be able to come back, and then I don't know I don't know how these things work. Yom, you're our expert. Are they connected to the Padre? Or like, will he know they died? Will he be coming for them tomorrow night?
Wouldn't it be easier to get them in the day? What do your readings say about that?
I mean, if we can get them into the sun, it would be easier to kill them. Obviously.
Yeah, but don't they sleep during the day? Can't we
Right.
sneak up on them while they're sleeping?
I mean, if we can know exactly where their resting place is, I guess we could, but I think we'd still just we'd have to beat them down again, even if it was daytime, but they were indoors. If they came out of their coffins, is it a coffin, sarcophagus? I never remember the difference. There's a difference. It doesn't matter. It's semantics. Either way, I think we would have to beat them down and destroy their resting place.
This feels like our first opportunity to actually strike a blow against these people. I feel like we should take it.
That would mean
might
we
not
follow
get this
them.
chance again.
Well,
They should be moving slow in their, like, from what I've read, I think when they go misty like that, they're not the fastest. They're a little more mobile, but they're not as speedy. If we run, we might be able to get wherever they're going before them.
I also, waiting to daylight, even if we need to beat them down, I have the ability to cast a spell that basically does massive amounts of damage to inanimate objects. I mean, there's a chance I could just blow a hole in the wall and the sunlight would be on them wherever they're at, even if it's through a floor. I could try to do that. And
Okay, I mean,
I'm just saying, if we wait until daylight, I'm willing to go now.
I blew through a lot of my most powerful abilities today. I could use a nap, but I mean, I'm down for whatever we need to do. If this is the time to hunt them down, then we could try. But again, I just don't know if we're gonna get. It's an hour once they reach their destination, I should say.
Mhm.
So like however long it takes them to get there, we have that long plus an hour.
Okay,
What
here's
time
the
of the
thing.
day is it, Jeremy? Or night, sorry. What time of
Yeah,
the
it's like
night?
middle of the night, like probably 1 or 2, 3 o'clock, somewhere around there.
How fast did it seem like they were like flying pretty fast when they were like mistily escaping?
I mean, not like at the speed of a horse or anything. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think that we should go after them. We've expended so much of our energy just to get them down. It would be a waste to wait until they get back up again and then have to put that exact same amount of energy plus more because they probably know how we fight and they might bring friends. So I think that we have the element of surprise, I think. I do not think that they thought that we would beat them. So I think they thought that they could take us. I think that we go.
I don't think they even expected us to attack, but yes, let's go then. Let's go then now. I cannot. I don't. Did we had horses, right? We brought horses
Mhm.
here.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I'll start just moving towards the horses.
Are they in a house? Horse house?
Are they in the horse house?
Yeah, there would be a stable.
Okay, I don't know what a stable is, but yeah, we
I
start
mean,
heading
horse
towards the
house.
horse house.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's
I
sort
didn't
of like
translate.
it's like a commercial horse house. It's like if you're not, it's not
Exactly.
just like a place that you have for your own horse. Never mind.
It's more like a horse
You were
timeshare.
being sarcastic. I get that now.
Vera's gonna kind of look at the rest of the group and all right then. It's time to go.
Okay.
Let's chase some vampires. The things I have said since I started hanging out with you folks.
Okay. So, you all head to the horse house, and you start to prepare the horses for the ride into the mountains. You know that there is a road that kind of leads out of the city and heads off into the countryside, where you will come close, apparently, or go through one of the two, the lands that belong to the Borjido family, who Lugarico is the patriarch of currently. You know that those lands, at least a portion of them, are dedicated to the family vineyard, that you have mentioned some potential exchange with in the future. So you know that you will at least be able to probably get a good look at it, if you're going to ride beyond it into the mountains where the castle is supposed to be. So, as you are getting ready to mount up onto your horses, one of you, if you would, volunteer. It's perfectly benign.
Oh, well, if it's perfectly benign, sure, I'll help. What's up? What do you need?
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Kenya. As
Is
Vera
everything's
is...
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. As Vera is getting ready to kind of swing up into the saddle, you must have, I guess, housed your horse close to the door. And something kind of makes you turn around and look over your shoulder, and there's an individual standing in the door to the horse house. She's a human woman who is completely wide-eyed. You see she has this headdress, cowl, cloak kind of worked into this decorative band that she wears on her head. And you see what looks like a storm cloud in the sky behind her, but you swear that you see like red singular eyes like blinking almost every time like a flash of lightning happens inside this cloud. She is standing there with her hands kind of folded in front of her, and she is not saying anything.
Vera's going to kind of let go of the saddle, and I almost think maybe she didn't see her right away because she was like pulling herself up, and it was when she started to peek over the horse. She saw this woman standing there, and she's gonna kind of freeze halfway up into the saddle and then slowly put her leg back down and kind of slide back down to the floor and look around the horse. And can I help you, ma'am?
It is I who hopes to help you. You are strangers here,
We are.
and you head into the mountains.
That's the plan. Yes.
I have done a reading this evening. It told me that you were departing on a journey. I came as soon as I could. You are all in grave danger.
We know. This is... What did your reading tell you? You mean decide we were leaving in danger?
There is only one path into the mountains, but there are many paths that come down. It is very possible that not all of you will return. Not on this plane. Before you depart, all of you should make yourselves ready. Prepare your souls.
You said that you were going to help us? That does not sound like help. That just sounds like you're telling us that one or all or some of us might die. That is, I think that was assumed on our part. No, she like, Sylvie looks around like, there is always the risk.
This
What-
woman nods, kind of slowly. There is always that risk, yes. But where you go, that risk increases. I will not say it is guaranteed, because as I said, there are many paths from the mountain. But one of them is certainly death. But forgive me. You are right. I came to help you. She reaches into the folds of her clothing and she produces a silk bundle. And with Vera being the closest, she hands this bundle to you. Despite the fact that she obviously has no discernible irises, discernible pupils, she does not really seem to have much trouble seeing you and finding your hands to place this object into. And whenever you kind of reach to grab it, she kind of clasps your hands over it and like holds them for a long moment and kind of stares at you. You should take great care.
Okay, thank you. I don't. This is going to sound, well, no, it's not, because we're going to go try to give the brides their final death, which I'm assuming your cards told us, your reading that you did. Do you have any advice? They're missed right now. That's why we're leaving now.
She kind of not quite smiles, but softens for a second, almost like she found something mildly humorous. If I were to give my advice, it would be to not go. There is nothing good that can come from those mountains. And if you are going after his brides, none of you will come back the same from that place.
We have to go. There are innocent women up there. All of them are pregnant. One of my girls. I have to. We have to save them.
She shakes her head slowly from side to side. She says, "Do not mistake conviction with having no choice. There is a choice. Each of you should be certain of the choice that you are making before you leave Manchalona. If you are not, you will not survive." Please.
Vera kind of like looks over at the rest of the group, like I think she's still holding this woman's hand unless the woman's pulled away from her. She's like still kind of holding on to it with this parcel. She's like, what choice? Should we wait till day? Is that what you're what choice do we have?
Choice to turn, to run, to live your life apart from this place. That is the choice.
I did not think that is a choice for all of us, Sylvie says, and she's looking at Chimeran specifically.
Chimeran is probably the one of us that is probably the least confident about our decision to go. And you can see that playing across his face right now. That there's definitely a part of him that just wants to turn and run like he has been doing for the last 3 years.
Who are you to us? Why do you care if we go or not?
My name is Zendavina. There are those who call me Zendavina the Vigilant. I exist between this world and the next. I see both. There are eyes watching always. Some of those eyes watch you. Not all of them have your best interests at heart. It is my job to try and protect, or warn at least,
those who may be closer to the veil than they think.
I'm sorry, but we don't know you. We don't know if your intentions are good or not. You could be with the vampires that live up there that we're trying to get rid of.
She makes like a hissing noise and like spats on the ground.
Do not say that cursed word. They're demons.
Mountain? Oh, the V one. Okay.
They're demons.
So you don't like the vampires?
She hisses again, spits on the other side of her, like ritualistically, like ceremoniously.
You should be all in favor of us going up there then, because we plan on just kicking their asses back to hell.
How many do you think have gone there with these same intentions, only now to bear fangs themselves?
Okay, that's a fair point. But how many?
I do not know. Castle has been there since before my grandmother was a child.
Okay, so you're saying that there's lots of them. There's lots of them there. It's going to be full of them. Uh-huh.
I am here to warn you, as I said, only. If you intend to go to this place, I am not going to stop you. I just want to make you understand you should be ready.
This. She finally lets go of Vera's hands.
This will help. In some small way, at least. I wish you all the best of luck in whatever path you decide to take.
She then unceremoniously turns and leaves the area of the horse house.
Well,
All right, so what the hell?
Well, that
What
was
do we do
ominous
now?
as hell.
she didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. What did she give you, Vera?
She just kind of pauses and she's just staring, and she kind of slowly opens this bundle that she has and looks inside of it.
You slowly unroll this silk, kind of like a sash or a scarf, that's wound around this object multiple times. And when you finally see the object inside, it's very strange looking. It's a triangle of gold that has been engraved and embossed, has a rather large stylistic eye that's been kind of painted in the center of it, and it's got all kinds of like these ornamentations hanging from one side of it. Look like kind of semi-precious stones, coins with various different like stampings on them, glass beads, pearls, like animal fangs. Like it's very eclectic, and it looks as if it's supposed to be like worn like an amulet, though It would be rather large. It's probably 6 inches, 7 inches at its base.
Wind chime? And she kind of holds it up. There's all kinds of, looks like runes of some sort. And I know, Guillaume, do you know anything about this? And she will walk over and assist Guillaume in kind of looking this thing over.
It says like, I have no idea why, but I have to say, I love this. Do you mind if I like just gonna put it on and just like, can you like, he's gonna see like, does it seem like it's like got like a place for like a string, like a necklace string or something? Is it like a pendant? How's it to be?
Yeah,
How does
definitely
it seem like it should be worn?
It definitely seems like a pendant that's meant to kind of hang around the neck. You'll even say that, some of the braided cording or something that hangs from it is long enough to do so.
This is totally not my normal style, but something about this is just really cool.
It's so boho.
Does it seem like magical? Does it seem like it has some significance?
So anybody that would like to may roll either an Arcana, a History, or a Religion check.
I'll do Arcana. I'm sure
Sylvie
that's
got
what I'm
a
good at.
28.
Holy
Oh,
hell.
go Sylvie.
Oh, damn it, I got a 27.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm gonna roll just because I can.
I rolled
got
a
a
19.
Okay. So, Sylvie and Guillaume, both of you actually immediately recognize what this is. So there is a rather strongly rooted belief, specifically in the more rural parts of Gerdes, in something called Kitachio, which is very much like an evil eye type thing. Literally, a glare from someone can place a hex on you, and oftentimes it's born from envy or jealousy, things like that, and is intended to cause the target misfortune or pain, usually. There's a lot of this particular style of eye, this kind of blue, white, and like lighter blue eye that people paint on above the door frames to their houses. They paint them on the sides of their carts. It's kind of to ward this particular kind of curse off. But it's also thought to also ward against other bad juju. So this apparently is a fetish that is meant as a kind of talisman. You've got a 28 and a 27. So I think both of you also even understand what this particular one is capable of doing. I'm going to bring up its card. This is called Catacio's Bane. Hanging from a red-breaded hemp cord, this triangular golden pendant is emblazoned with the image of a wide-open eye at its center, and engraved runes that fill each of its 3 corners. 5 individual strands of the trinkets each dangle from the triangle's base, including glass beads, copper coins, animal teeth, pearls, and semi-precious gemstones. This is a talisman designed to protect an individual against Kitachio, the evil eye. This necklace requires attunement. Of the original 25 trinkets, 46 of them are still possess their magic, while the rest are now mundane. So we'll go ahead and roll that here in just a second. To use one, you must be attuned to the necklace and wearing it. Each trinket contains a spell that you can cast from it as a bonus action. Once a trinket's spell is cast, that trinket is rendered mundane. You can do Blade Ward, protection from evil and good, warding bond, remove curse, or aura of life.
I mean, it's definitely helpful.
Yeah, that's cool. A lot of cool stuff on there. That lady was ominous, right? That lady was crazy ominous. That was I try not to like subscribe to, that sort of folksy, scary magic. But like she was very clearly intensely magical. The eyes and the eyes. I mm. Do we need to listen to her? Kind of feels like we maybe need to listen to her. Listen, I was all for like, let's charge into this castle. Let's clear my name and also rescue all of these women. Um, both very important things, not putting an importance cap on one or the other. Just I was very for that, but this does seem like a pretty heavy sign in the other direction.
Was it though? She just kind of said things may happen to you. It is going to be dangerous. We already knew that, no?
No, you're right. You're right. Just I think hearing it from a wide-eyed lady who exists between worlds really like sold it for me in a different way. It was that plus the kind of realization that beyond the three vampires that we already kicked the shit out of, that I feel pretty confident we could kick the shit out of again tonight if we had to. Um, there may be like uncounted other vampires at this castle, which I kind of knew intellectually, but hadn't really like thought about in practice. And after having to like fight three of them, which again we could totally do again. I don't know if we could fight like 23 of them.
So we fight 23 of them later when the plus those other three,
Yeah,
mind you.
26. Yeah. You're not wrong.
I see it. We either do it now, have our lives changed, maybe we die, maybe we don't, who knows, whatever this woman is saying, or we do it later and the same thing happens. We change, we don't change. Some of us may die, some of us may not die. To me, it is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Maybe that is too callous of me.
So Guillaume, are you saying you want to just give up and turn tail and run?
We can't turn tail and run.
If we do that, if I do that now, I will always be running.
No. I think your thing we really have to deal with. That seems pretty ironclad. I guess what I'm wondering is like maybe the castle's not our first goal. Maybe we weaken the whole operation by taking out some. We assume that, you know, that guy, the dog man, is working with the vampires probably. So like it'll hurt them to kill him. We'll kill him first. We can do that. That seems a lot easier. Let's kill him. Let's kill Chimeran's guy.
We can't turn tail and run for a variety of reasons. The first, of course, being you will always be running then, Chimeran. We have to deal with your thing. But the second is we just killed his brides. He's gonna know whether if they can really resurrect themselves, which we're pretty sure they can, from everything Guillaume has read and everything that the Contessa has told us, even if he's wrong on the time and it's not in an hour, if it's in a week, it's gonna get found out it was us. We can't go back to the city. You think we're gonna be able to walk around in the city with the Padre Primero there running around and we're openly out killing his people? I mean, what we just did, while it was amazing and we were all badass, it kind of put into play that we have to do something. I'm not saying we have to do it now, like this instant, but
I do think we have to do something very soon before they have a
Right.
chance to think of a plan and you know, regain their strength. I
What
don't
if
think
we-
they expect us to do this at all.
here's the other thing. Maybe we'll be really lucky, and because we so thoroughly wrecked them earlier tonight, they'll maybe stay out of the town for a little bit, be a little sketchy about coming back. You know, maybe we're kind of a factor, but regardless, maybe we go set the vineyards on fire. Maybe we do Chimeran's thing and then we set the vineyards on fire. And like Guillaume is saying, weaken the operation, and then that's a distraction.
Draw
Maybe
some
it
of them
will,
out of the castle, maybe by
Right.
setting the vineyards. I like this. Yes.
right? Because maybe we'll be able to maybe if we set the vineyards on fire, the brides will come out, you know, and we'll be able to fight them again and take them down. And this time we'll have Guillaume can have his daylight stuff prepared that Contessa gave him, and we can deal with them as mist instead of ransacking into the castle. I don't know. It's just, it's also,
I think we're going to have to deal with the castle no matter what.
we are.
But maybe we can draw them out, have fewer of them at the castle when we actually make our assault. That would be the ideal. Because if we could make our assault destroy their resting place, make it impossible for them to, you know, rest and regenerate, then it's just the matter of hunting them down before they can rebuild.
And even if the burning of the vineyards doesn't draw them out per se, it would draw out their minions, their servants, the people that would just get in our way.
I mean, maybe it would even draw out exactly. That's a great point, Marion. Their daylight servants rushing to save the vineyard, and if we can take care of those people, then when we go ransack the castle, if we go during the day, they at least won't have their daylight minions to protect them. And then we can blow a hole in the wall and drag them all out. We can tie ropes around them and pull them out with the horses. I don't know.
I think that makes
So-
sense. That is pretty quick.
And I think we do need to do this as soon as we can, because those women, we don't know how long they have before whatever they were brought here for takes place.
Jeremy, how far along was Annabelle, I think is her name? My girl. When she got taken.
So all of them
Oh, they all got pregnant during the week of.
yeah, had gotten pregnant during Amigazada, which is like October, November of the year, and we're currently in the spring, so they're about 6 months along.
Okay. We could, you know, they do have a couple months, a few months.
But we don't know if they need them to give birth or if they need the unborn babes. We don't know that.
Well, Guillaume has the books. If he looks in the books, he could probably figure that out. The ritual's probably in there. I mean, those are our best resources to figure out what's going on, right? We found those books. in there serving stuff. They have the magic in them.
Yeah. Well, the thing about those books, they're garbage and they're bullshit and they're evil, and I'm not opening it again. So do with that what you will.
I mean, I can try to read them if you want. I'm nowhere near an arcane master like you are, so I don't have the skill set to do it, but I'll try.
I appreciate the flattery. It's not going to get me to open the book.
That's fine. Then I guess I
Between
can
you
try.
and Sylvie, I'm sure you can figure it out. You're both very intelligent. No offense, Lox. No offense, Chimeran.
None taken.
Why would I be offended?
I mean, okay, I guess. She looks over at Sylvie. I guess. Are we going back up to the room? Reading the books?
I think so. Do you think we should read them in the same room?
Maybe we should read the same book together so we can kind of work on it together, help each other out. That might work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but keep them in the light. Remember that. Do not let them both be in darkness. Darkness is bad.
Yom, it's really, really, really hard to read a book in the dark. I thought you'd know that.
Yeah, okay. Not, yeah, all right. He just like stares off, just 1,000-yard stare in the another direction.
He says, I'm not smart.
Okay. So it sounds like the plan is to head back upstairs and try to fuss with these strange fiend hide books again. Yes?
Yes, I have an important question for
I might
clarification,
have an
just
answer.
because the sitting in the room discussion that we had after the fight and stuff, and kind of like, is this like, did we get a short rest?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay. And the plan was to be in the same room, but make sure that the lights stay on. Okay. Is anyone else in the room with Vera and Sylvie while they are messing with this?
I'll totally be in the room.
Maybe
would
not
be.
everyone should be in the room, just in case.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely not be in the room. I'll be like, I'm gonna stand like at the door nervously, like think of it like somebody who's like the lookout for their friends who are doing something illegal that they could not talk their friends out of doing. So they're like, okay, well, if you're gonna do it, then I'm gonna come along and be your watch. Like, and so they're very like, he's just like kind of nervously like standing outside the door, patting on everything, like waiting, like listening occasionally, but then like, nope, don't want to know, don't want to know.
And Chimeran is like, he doesn't get this whole magic stuff. So he's there to help and save Sylvie if that is the need at some point because of how Guillaume is acting. But otherwise he's just there. He's just there to look pretty. And keep an eye on
All
you.
right.
Make sure you're okay.
So, Lox and Guillaume are hanging out in the adjoining room or in the hallway outside. And the three of you are in the room. How are you doing this? Is it you putting these books on the floor? Are you putting them like on a reading table kind of situation on the bed?
I think I only pull out one. They said they wanted to read one
Just one.
together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's, well, let the girls decide, but I'm suggest putting it on a table where we can all look, and I'll sit in a chair a few feet away,
Huh.
ready to
Probably
grab
pull
you
the
if I
table to
need
the
to.
center of the room, maybe. Kind of
Perfect.
get like open space. Vera is going to, I don't know, I'm reaching for anything that's going to help us do this. So Vera is going to pull out her lantern of revealing that she has. And she's going to, that she got from the Contessa, and she's going to light it. It gives us bright light for 30 feet, dim for 30. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are in the bright light. So she's going to turn that sucker on and make sure that it gets very well lit up. And I don't know, maybe there's secret stuff that's hidden that now shows up because it reveals invisible stuff, and I don't know. So I'm super nervous. She's gonna kind of lean into Sylvie. I was really hoping that if I admitted that I am nowhere near as good at this arcane magic stuff as Guillaume, that he would do this, but I'm really not. I mean, my stuff's all like, well, because I'm me, because I'm hot, because I'm good at talking to people, because I know when to flirt and when not to, and when to play demure and submissive. And I was really, really, really hoping that if I flattered him, he would do this. So I don't know what your abilities are like, but
Sylvie kind of smiles. She's quite amused at what Vera has said. And she says, to be honest, I am not surprised that Guillaume didn't want to do this again. I saw his face when he looked at the book for, it felt like a second, but he says he was in there for a while, and I saw his face. Guillaume, I think that was probably something that he would not want to show anyone. And I think that it gives him a lot of shame with that as well.
shame that what? That the book was more powerful than him?
Yeah,
Or
exactly
yeah.
that. I think that he was surprised that he was not able to conquer this book. Um, and she thinks about your question for a minute, and uh, Guillaume is often seen as the one who is learned, he goes to school, blah, blah, blah. But I have worked very, very hard. I have done a lot of work with my magic. I
Mhm.
started out with knowing almost nothing, and I have taught myself almost everything that I know. And yes, it is fabric, and yes, it is, fun, fancy things, but she looks resolutely at you and she says, I know, I am confident that I am just as good as Guillaume, she says. And she said, and if it comes down to it, maybe you can flirt with the demon. Maybe he's into that.
Maybe, I mean, honestly, some of the people I've slept with in the city, it wouldn't be the first time, probably.
There we go. We make a fantastic team.
All right. I can offer to, if you'll let me, I can kind of guard your mind a bit and um give you kind of an extra push of power to defend yourself, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay. Um, she's going to kind of stand in front of Sylvie, and she kind of starts to like just hum to herself a little bit. And as she starts to hum, it eventually kind of turns into these like words that um aren't really words, it's just sounds and syllables. And then she kind of takes the tip of her fingers and she puts them to her lips, and then she kind of pulls, and you watch as like the music and the sound that she's making kind of pulls out of her, and she takes it and she kind of starts moving it around Sylvie's head, and Sylvie's head kind of starts tingling a little bit as it kind of like droops down her and kind of covers her whole face. And she's casting intellect fortress on you, which is going to give you resistance to psychic damage and advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. So she's going to give you that, and then she's going to when she's done with that and she casts that and you feel the magic settle on you, she's going to kind of put her hands on your shoulders, and she's going to look directly in your eyes, and there's this kind of almost instance where you see like maybe her eyes kind of, because they're two different colors, the one green and the one brown, and it's almost like you watch them kind of maybe flip back and forth between each other, like they're changing. And she just looks directly at Sylvie and she says, I believe in you. I know you can do this. You are beautiful, you are powerful, you are talented. And she kind of squeezes your shoulders, and I'm going to give her a bardic inspiration too for this. So I'm juicing her.
Sylvie's ready.
Yep. She's going to kind of step aside and hold the lantern like so that its point, the book is in the light.
And Chimerian, watching all of this go down, is just kind of standing there, not knowing what to do. But as soon as Vera steps away, he's going to step up, and he is ready to grab that book and slam it shut if he needs to.
Okay. Once it's all done and said, everything is as you prepared it. You've bolstered yourselves. You're ready. Sylvie, what are you doing?
Sylvie, she's going to take out this pin and she's going to poise it, not quite into her palm, but she's just like holding it just above her palm, with like the pin side pointing in. And she is going to open the book.
Okay. You reach down and you touch the book. Nothing happens. I need the three of you, please, to roll me perception checks.
Dirty 20.
9.
Okay.
I'm concentrating too hard on intellect
Mhm.
fortress.
Absolutely. Sylvie, concentrating on keeping this pin at the ready and touching this book, and having anticipated that something was going to happen, something profound, maybe what Guillaume described, maybe something different. You weren't sure. You also don't notice this. Chimerian, however, with your objective angle viewing this, you notice something very strange happen, but it's very, very subtle. When Sylvie touches the book, every flame in this room, every light source, the flames of that light source flicker as if being blown by a wind away from Sylvie and the book.
I think as soon as he sees that, he would just like turn to Vera and like, did you see that too? I didn't hear you. You are under a silence spell.
No, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I'm waiting
Oh.
for something to battle her mind.
All the lights flickered away when Sylvie touched the book.
I was worried about this. We're gonna have to put the books in the dark. Guillaume specifically wants them in the light because they can't do whatever they're doing to him in the light.
Is there anything on the pages when she opens it, or are they blank?
She was not able to open this book.
Oh, she couldn't open it.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I think Vera's right. Sylvie nods. I am sorry, Guillaume, but we need our answers.
What if, okay, I don't like putting everything in the dark. What if we just put the book in the dark and you open it in the dark, and then we take away the dark and see what it is? Like a blanket. We put a blanket over the book and you open the book under the blanket.
Vera just kind of looks at Sylvie and just waits for her to give her the cue to.
We could do that. When Guillaume opened the book, from my perception, he had only had it open for a minute, maybe a few seconds. But to him, it was a long time.
I opened the book and nothing happened.
You were obviously a lot stronger than Guillaume was to resist it.
Maybe your brain wasn't as tasty.
Chimera just looks at you kind of quizzically like,
Sylvie
you
kind of
mean?
laughs at her own, like,
I'm not sure how to take that.
it just reminds me of the scene in the D&D movie with the intellect of ours. So, yeah, Sylvie, I do think we need to be in the dark, no matter how that looks.
Do you want me to turn out the light, count to 30, and turn it back on?
I think that is a good idea.
Okay. Are you ready? She will cover the lantern and start counting.
When the book is in utter darkness, when there is not a shred of light cast upon any part of the book, and you touch it, Sylvie, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yep. I get advantage, right? Wisdom saving throws?
You get advantage, and you have a D8 bardic inspiration to use if you need to.
Cool.
If you feel you need to.
Wisdom. Okay. Woo. I got a 21, but I'm still a little afraid. I'm going to use my reaction. If Sylvie pierces this pin into her palm, essentially I'm using Flash of Genius, which I can use my reaction to add 5 to the roll, so that's going to be a 26.
Okay. You touch the book, and you squeeze into this pen, embedding it into the palm of your hand, and you open this book, and it opens without any problem this time. The latch operates beautifully, and the book opens, and absolutely nothing happens beyond that. You can't see anything currently, but you can feel the pages of this book. It is open.
Yeah, you hear Sylvie exclaim, I opened it. The book is open, but it is dark and I cannot read.
You hear from the hallway like a lot of whispering going on out here. Not loving it. Could you guys is the light off in there?
Vera, do you you didn't want to be in here, so you don't get to know what's going on, Guillaume.
Lights, Vera,
Okay, well, I
lights.
have an idea. There's a lot of
Vera,
going
light.
on inside my brain.
Quick, give me a candle.
Vera, light.
Okay, she turns just a tiny bit of light on, just like so it's dim, so that Sylvia's enough to see the pages.
All right. Sylvie and Vera, both of you can roll Arcana.
Can I donate my my roll to give her advantage, as in giving the help action? Like kind of skimming it with her and going,
Sure.
oh, look at this, look at this, look at this kind of stuff. What's this mean?
Certainly.
Because my Arcana is low.
I do have a +8 to Arcana. So.
Yes, I have a +1, so I would like to assist you.
Yeah.
I'm
26
magical because I'm
advantage.
pretty.
Thank you for that. I rolled very low, so I did get a 26.
Wow, okay. Okay. As the light kind of is cast across these pages and you're able to see them better, the three of you start hearing whispering at the corners of your mind. But you look at the pages and this has been inked in, your guess is probably blood. It has kind of a maroonish coloration to it. There's a little bit of an irony kind of smell that kind of wafts out of this book. You recognize what this is, Sylvie, and I'll let you determine why or how. This is a spell book. Furthermore, it is a warlock's book of shadows. The writings that you see are incantations and spells.
What language are they like? Just like
So-
arcane.
Yeah, so like in Rostveen, Draconic and the language of the Arcane are kind of one and the same. So this looks Draconic, but again, like the phrases that are used to formulate magic, they don't make a lot of sense. It's not like reading instructions or anything like that. It's more like learning like a Dr. Seuss poem or like a children's rhyme. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just kind of about something about putting these words together with the correct pronunciation, hand gestures, things like that, that seems to make the magic work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sylvie's looking
You
and
can recognize the spells if you want to know that.
yeah, Sylvie wants to start flipping through because she's looking for anything that would maybe a spell or something that, you know, the recipe calls for baby, you know, so she's looking
Certainly.
for that.
Pregnant
Okay.
women, baby, toddler. Let's see all the above, you know.
Yeah, Control F baby on this. So
On the PDF. So you definitely don't get any hits on baby magic or pregnant mama magic. But there is a lot of, like, some of these spells you're familiar with. Either, again, you know, you've come across them written elsewhere. They may be some that you even know. The ingredients, the things that are needed to be gathered or learned to do some of these are different, and a lot of these come from really dark sources. So it's things like, you know, the toe of a hanged man, and, the blood of the innocent. And these kinds of things are common throughout a lot of these spells, even though they're not necessary to cast them through other means.
Can Sylvie ascertain like the level or like the power of this individual based on these spells?
Absolutely. So the spells that are contained within, we'll just use a meta term, they go up through 4th level in this book. So not terribly far, but a decent amount of learning had to go into putting this together.
Right. And some of these, okay, yeah, and some of these spells are just weird in that they require all these dark things when they might not usually.
Right. Like, there's probably other methods for doing the majority of these, but these seem to almost relish in, like, the darkness with which they're presented.
Okay. So yeah, Sylvie has been poring over this book for quite a while, I would imagine, trying to decipher these arcane runes. I imagine it's less like reading it and more like feeling it, like feeling how
Absolutely.
the spell works, and less of like actually reading the ingredients. So she has to like open up her arcane self almost to like try and get these spells. So I imagine it takes quite a bit of time as Sylvie's pouring through this, and she kind of sits back with this very puzzled look on her face. I think it is okay to call in the others, unless you want to look through the second book.
I think
I
we
was
should look through the second book.
just going to ask if you wanted to, if you were up to it.
Sure. I found some very interesting things. I would like everyone to be here when I explain it. So maybe for now, let's just look through the second book.
So Chimeran will take out the second book, but he will take the first one back, so they're not both out at the same time.
Are you taking the book while it is open, Cameron?
I think Sylvie would close it, unless Chimeran grabs it.
No,
still
he's following whatever Sylvie's lead. Whatever this is Sylvie's forte, not his.
And still with light in the room.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Putting it away in the backpack when there's light. Pulling out the other one.
Put it in the backpack. You put the flap shut, and that's when you hear it again. That whispering at the fringes of your mind. And you take the second book and bring it back over into the light and lay it out in front of Sylvie. Sylvie, once again, as long as the light is here, it will not open.
Yeah. And again, Sylvie looks to Vera to put out the light again and goes through the
She gets that sign, she kind of nods. Do I need to refresh her bardic inspiration, or does she still have it? Intellect Fortress is an hour, so that one I'm not concerned about. Bardic inspirations last for I think a minute. Oh no, it's for 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
So with bardic inspiration, it's if you use it once, it's gone.
Right, but it only lasts for 10 minutes.
Oh,
so.
Right. But I don't think Im used it on the last roll.
Okay, so she's good. It hasn't been. Vera or Sylvie's good, so. Okay.
All right. Sylvie, another wisdom save, please.
Oh no. All right. I'm going to.
You have advantage still.
Oh, I do. Oh my god.
Because of Intellect Fortress.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 2.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. I am going to roll the Bardic Inspiration on this one. 22 for 22.
Okay. So perhaps a little more cavalier. The first one having gone so well, you pull out this second one, you cloak the light, and you open this book. You hear the whispers, and nothing else happens.
Now that Sylvie has defused 2 bombs, she again asks Sylvie to or asks Vera to turn on the light.
Vera cracks the little lantern lid.
In
And she'll do
doing
the same
so-
thing she did before, kind of helping.
In doing
Sylvie.
so, you find very much a similar thing. The handwriting is definitely different. The drawings are... You can tell it's almost like somebody copied the same source material. So like, the size and shape of certain things is a little different. The placement might be a little different, but it's definitely somebody copying somebody else's homework kind of thing. But there are a few spells in this one that were not in the other, and vice versa. It definitely looks like maybe that these started, like probably the first portion of the book is very, very similar, and then as you go on, it starts to differentiate more and more from each other. There is an interesting tidbit that is written here. And this, it's not really even a spell. It's more like spell research, if you will. Like someone was trying to discover how to achieve something through magic. And this one does mention Amigazada. There's, like a lunar chart or something that kind of shows the phases of the 3 moons of, or the 2 moons of Rostveen, and the passing of the seasons in the months of the year. And you can tell by the way that the particular alignment is drawn or something like that, that equates to like the month of Amigazada, when the veil between the 2 worlds is the thinnest. And it seems like someone is testing the various things that are associated with Amigazada, in particular with newborns and pregnancies that occurred during Amigazada.
When you say things, what is that like just to see what happens?
Yes, things like, we're going to get graphic here for a second, folks, so just fair warning. Things like boiling the placenta and, testing the fluids of the afterbirth. Maybe even as far as testing pieces of stillborns, things of that nature. It's very dark, very... Sacrilegious is not really a term like here, because there's so many different religions of this pantheon in this world. But
It's like
go ahead, sorry.
Cult, kind of.
No, I was gonna say like kind of almost like a perversion of nature kind of a thing.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like not necromantic magic, but like very, very much like bordering on that.
From this part, Sylvie finds this particularly interesting, obviously, but was there any indication of whether anything was working or like any results or anything like that?
So it seems like they might have hit on like a direction and kind of pushed harder in that direction, like trying the same thing repeatedly. And it definitely seems to have something to do with the pregnant mother before the child is born. That seems to be the direction that things were headed. But that's as far as like the notes really go. And again, lab notes is not really like a great analog because it's not that meticulous. It's very much just, somebody wrote down like an odd measurement here and there, or, needs such and such kind of in the margin of the page or whatever.
like more thoughts at the time to remember that make
Right.
sense to them. Yeah.
Right. Like a
Uh,
DM's notes. Going back and going like, I don't know what I meant by this.
Yeah. Um, okay. Sylvie wants to get like a piece of parchment. Because she doesn't want to look back at this book or have anyone else look back at this book ever again. But she wants to put some of the, those lunar cycles and she kind of wants to copy some of these notes and some of the wordings and stuff like that for the others, just in case they see anything that she doesn't. And once she does that, and once this particular page is copied over and she's satisfied looking through the book again, is going to close it in the light, ask Vera to turn on all the lights again, and give the book back to Chimeran.
Now, speaking of that, as Chimeran's putting away, which book was the second one? Was it Mercusio's or was it the Marquesas that had the
The
extra
Marquesas.
notes?
Since we, if it's okay, if we just spin back just a half a beat, since we would have known which book was which because we grabbed them, that being the Marques's book, Vera would probably ask Sylvie if she can find anything about the spell the Marquesa used on the werewolves. Because if we can write that information down too, that might be useful for us in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does Sylvie find?
Yeah, I would think so. It's like a more permanent version of polymorph. Effectively, it's more like a ritual than a casting of the spell. And it involves binding, the tail, like you guys found. It's very kind of steeped in darkness and ritual magic and things of that nature, but you would recognize it as being the same school of magic, the same kind of net end goal as a polymorph spell.
Yeah, Sylvie would find that and also write that down as well. And then once all the lights are turned on and everything's put away, would go out. She would just kind of get up, has this just kind of very concerned look on her face, and go out and get Guillaume and Locks.
I think as soon as Sylvie like emerges, Guillaume's just like, "Are you okay? Did everything go okay with the book?" Like kind of
No,
like looking at her, like looking at her face, trying to see like signs of trauma.
No, she completely got possessed. We had to kill her and then resurrect her again.
Everything is fine, Guillaume. I was able to read the book, both of them.
Great. And so what were they? I didn't get the chance because of the whole sucked into a demon's point of view thing.
Once everyone's inside, so the first book, both books, it looks like they are spell books, actually. They are part of some kind of pact. I assume maybe that is what you saw, Guillaume, but
Warlock patron. Of course, that makes sense. Some chained fiend. Okay. More information's always good. More information is always good.
And it's just very odd. Some of these spells I have heard of, and I'm sure that you have heard of some of them as well, Guillaume, but they all had such dark ingredients to make them. Very unnecessary, just very very dark and very extra. But
Oh, the whole like one of those things where they're like calling for like Eye of Newt, where like anybody who makes anything knows that you can literally just use pond water for that. But like people choose to use Eye of Newt because it sounds creepier. It's one of those situations. I
yeah,
hate that. Just use the pond water. You don't have to like it's such a process to get a new anyway.
like that, except maybe add a few extra steps of darkness and creepiness. The first book did not have anything to do with Mikazada or whatever we were looking for, but the second book did, and that's when Sylvie takes out her notes that she had copied and is going to show them to everyone. This is all I could find. It is not a spell, it is more just someone's idle thoughts and notes when they were doing some kind of I hate to call them experiments. They're more I don't know. It just seems very very sick, wrong.
Guillaume, from your time at the academy, immediately whenever Sylvie lays this piece of paper down in front of you, you recognize not necessarily what it is, but you see like specific arrangement of runic writing, or certain kind of like diagrams, or like the way that things are kind of like put together on the page, that there are multiple things here that are like outright forbidden in the academy, like things that will not be taught, things that if you are caught like even messing with in the least, like you are gone. This is definitely like some taboo hush hush no type stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good Lord. This is dark. I had to pay someone like 200 gold to get me like one page from a book that covered these sorts of topics. And that was purely for research purposes. I didn't use any of it. But this is some fucked up stuff. I don't know what else to say. Like this is yeah, whatever they were doing, this all like none of this was taking place at the academy, I'll tell you that much.
I think there might be either another book or maybe even other notes that they were copying from. I think there were many of them who were doing this type of experimentation.
So we have some sort of like Q source that we need to find. Okay. If we want to like
Marquesa
know.
was in on this whole thing.
So was the man that Guillaume killed. The duel.
Mercutio.
Mercutio.
It wasn't in his book though. It was in the Marquesas. So,
But it looks like they kind of started out the same. So there must be an origin point somewhere where they both and maybe others all started out, and I think that might have more information for us.
but we don't know if Mercutio was doing the experiments.
We don't know that he wasn't.
I mean, he was throwing warlock magic around. I knew I recognized what he did. It was
And his wife was one of the targets.
I think
he could have just had his notes elsewhere.
He could have had his notes elsewhere. He could have merely been associated with and know what's going on, but not actually directly involved in it. And then when his wife got pregnant,
He didn't seem to have. I didn't think
he had
that
no
good of a
care
liar.
or regard for her. All of his concern was how socially she was making him look bad.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like he had any knowledge of the whole stealing of the women thing. But He could have just been a better liar than I expected.
Mhm.
But the
So-
Marquesa for sure knows. Or
The Marquesa knew. Oh, Sylvie also copied down the werewolf tail limb thing shifter ritual. So maybe we'll need that in the future, and you can learn spells like that, right? You're able to do that. You study a spell someone else has done, you can cast it then. I just thought might be good for since we're doing a lot of shifter related things.
Yeah, depending on the spell and if I have the time and the resources, it should be
Okay.
able to.
Um,
But it really depends on the spell.
so I know you're all. Which book was it that Guillaume was touching when he saw the demon in chains? Was it the Marquesas or Mercuzio's?
he had the Marquesa's book. I had Mercuzio's.
Okay. So I know you are absolutely going to hate this suggestion. But I am a woman who has built her survival around resources and using everything at our fingertips to get what we want. Now that we know what is in the book and we know, and I think it's interesting that the thing you saw was chained. It almost makes me feel like this is some sort of forced imprisonment, forced thing. What if someone attempts to actually communicate with that demon and get the information from it so that we know what it knows about this ritual?
Is this you volunteering, Vera?
No, this is me broaching the subject about it and having the discussion. And then if we choose to, we can have that next part of that conversation. Because the reality of it is if that thing is supplying the power to the people that are making this ritual and doing this, it might have more information.
So far, of those who have looked at the books, the only person that has seen this fiend is Guillaume.
I know. And I also I am not versed in the arcane. I say it as a joke, but it literally am magical because I'm beautiful. It's, I it could start talking about things that I would not understand. And
Oh boy. Okay, so I think what I'm hearing right now I could be wrong. I misinterpret things sometimes. What I'm hearing is you want Sylvie to do this, and that feels just very cruel to Sylvie. I don't know what she's done that makes you think that she.
No, not
All right,
Sylvia at all.
Guillaume,
I've
if you're too
I've done it
afraid-
once before. I can try. at least I know what I'm expecting this time. I maybe oh God.
Guillaume,
Maybe I can get really drunk first so I don't feel the chains as much if I have to like go to the same thing, but I don't know how we communicate. We could
Guillaume,
try.
you don't have to do this, Guillaume.
I don't want to throw even more options on the pile here, but uh the Contessa did give me a ring that's supposed to shield my mind. I don't think I can give it to somebody else, but I mean, if we need someone to talk to a demon, I at least have a little bit of protection.
I can.
We might want the two strong arcane users to be as here, as present as possible in case anything goes wrong. Sylvie looks to Locks.
Locks, realizing that he's just volunteered, is sort of just like, yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. Yeah.
But he's our best fighter. If he gets
That's nice
somehow
of you to say.
possessed.
It's true. I mean, look at you.
If he's possessed, I
don't think he will get possessed. Maybe
I
just
also.
horrifically traumatized.
Honestly, also I have to say I think perhaps mind shielding might not be that useful here because the whole goal it seems is to allow this thing
Entry.
access so we can talk to it. The problem will just be exerting some modicum of control once there. But if you go in with a plan, anything is possible. That's what they teach you on day one of wizard school. And I have to believe it's true because I've spent a lot of money at that university.
Do you know how to
So
prepare for a conversation with a demon, Guillaume?
No, I do
that's
not.
that's the other thing, and it may want something in return.
Oh, it most
It most
definitely
likely will. And I would not be surprised if it asked you to find something to release it from its bonds. And then we have to decide, is that worth saving these women and stopping whatever hellish things are supposed to be coming out of them when they give birth? Because saving the women is obviously our priority, but on the off chance that that doesn't happen, we don't know what's going to come out.
If if we get the chance to get into some sort of conversation with whatever demon or thing this is, our maybe our best bets, I mean, you always got to try to screw them over with the letter of the law. So if you can, if I would happily make the agreement, I will find something that could break that demon's chains because nothing there obligates me to give it to that demon.
Okay.
So if we can make a deal that doesn't actually make a deal, but that's always, we're in danger then of, getting screwed ourselves. Deals with demons seem like bad ideas. And also demons are not devils. Devils and demons are different. There's a whole other layer there. Devils are really the ones you could make a deal with, but shouldn't. And demons, it's like, if it's a demon, if this is a true demon, we're really just kind of pissing in the wind here, in directly into it, in which I mean, whatever we're going to do, we're just going to end up covered in like piss, metaphorically speaking, because demons are just a nightmare. We hope it's a devil, I think, but it seemed pretty demonic.
Okay.
Maybe we do not
Oh.
have to do this right now. we might be able to get other information before we have to resort to conversating with a demon devil.
In the
I
paper,
always knew Sylvie was pretty smart.
huh? In the paperwork that you got, the stuff about the births, I think you said that when we were talking about it they actually need to do something to the women before the babies are born.
That's right. It's
So we
before.
have way less time than we thought we did.
That's what I was afraid of, yes.
So that's a factor too. Now, the longer we sit on this, the higher the chance that they're doing whatever it is they were trying to do.
I do think that our best course of action is the one that we had planned before, is to wait until daylight, have set a bunch of things on fire, kill some day servants, and then go to the castle. And now we know what we're looking for. We know roughly that we are looking for other books like this, some type of ritual, and we know that it is going to happen to the women before they give birth. So we can keep an eye out for this as well at the castle. And then if we don't find it, then we can present Guillaume like a tarred chicken in front of this demon.
Okay, that's a good plan.
Wait, what? No, I don't think that was exactly Sylvie. Come on. I tried to give you a compliment. Less smart seeming now. That doesn't seem like the best method. But let's burn things. Let's burn
I will dress
things.
you up and make you pretty for it.
I like the burning of things. I think that is a good plan. I will also say this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I do have ways of reading people, seeing what their intentions are. Also, I must say I'm pretty good at deceiving people in turn. So maybe if anybody has to go to talk to somebody on... I can't believe I'm saying this. Somebody not up and up, it might be me. But I would have to need a lot of schooling on what the difference between a devil and a demon and all sorts of things. But I'm
okay.
already, my life is pretty much forfeit at this point if we can't fix this. So
that's
why
the
not
other
another one?
That's the other thing I was going to bring up. Maybe before we can do them in either order. Vineyards. I would almost. I have a feeling, aside from what we did to the brides, if we go after the vineyards right away, it's going to be a problem. We're going to really draw the ire of the Padre down on us instantly. So maybe, and do you ever sometimes know you need to voice things, yet you are incredibly concerned that if you do, it will manifest things you don't want manifested somehow? I'm wondering if we need to go to deal with Chimeran's thing. My concern is with it being so close to here and the weird magic that obviously is being done on you, that we will find another book in that property. And maybe that third book will have more information too. And if we take care of your thing, maybe it will just get us more experience fighting in this region and the skills necessary to deal with these situations. So I don't know. I'm almost wondering if maybe we need to deal with Chimeran's thing first and then burn the vineyard and kill the minions and anger the Padre.
The only thing I have to say to that is we have even less information about how to deal with this than we do with.
Right. We were talking about that kid. Maybe we can grab the child that's there and ask them if they've seen a book like either of these and show them these books.
Why would we?
But
Why?
well, you said
why
you
would
wanted
we
to see
expose a child to these
in the light. I mean, they can see what it looks like. We wouldn't have them open the book and go talk to the demon. I'm just saying, have you seen a book that looks like this? Because we're trying to get information. We're trying to figure this stuff out. I mean, we don't know what to do. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm just. I'm scared, guys. This is some serious shit we're getting into. You know?
Yeah, we may have, you know, marched out to take on a threat that we were not entirely prepared for. We may not have the intelligence or the preparation that we thought we needed or that we might need. And then before any but, he just stops talking.
Is this another time when I'm not supposed to be offended?
So I guess it's a group decision then. Do we burn the vineyards tomorrow and call the minions and deal with that and try to go in for the women? Or do we deal with Chimeran stuff? We just need to pick a direction.
I think while Chimeran's guy is out of town, we go to his place and fuck things up. I think we make it a hard welcome for him when he returns. And, you know, maybe if he returns quick enough or hears about his house burning down, he'll hoof it back here from Aladalgo, and then we'll beat the shit out of him and get Chimeran's business cleared up because, you know, y'all
Also,
are...
with you being able to turn into a rakiome, you are just really good at sneaking in and finding things out for us. So you could always do some, you and the other were-rats could go in and do some recon.
Yeah, could definitely start with that. I really do want to burn something down. I mean, it seems like this guy seems like a real dick. Here's the deal. I kind of have a lot of resentment growing up rich with my father. That there's a lot of like issues. I want to burn down a fancy house. I haven't been allowed to do it yet. I wanted to do it after I beat that guy in that duel. But people were like, there's a lot of witnesses. And I was like, you're right. Totally fair. Sorry. But I'm getting sidetracked. But yeah, let's do some reconnaissance. I think that's smart.
It sounds like maybe we have a plan.
So we sleep and then recon?
Fantastic. I think that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So we're going to go to break, go take a bio, refill your drinks, smoke them if you got them, kiss your spouse, etc., etc. And then we will be right back to get to the second half of session 25 of Evermore le Masquerade. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of our session this evening. This is Evermore le Masquerade, session 25, titled And Fire Shall Reap. We rejoin our heroes. Heroes? Yeah, fair enough. Talking about making deals with demons and, heroes. As they are in the town of Manchalona, deciding which path that they are going to travel next. They have choices to make. None of them seem overly pleasant to deal with. But they are resolute in that they are going to remain on their course of action and try to right some of these wrongs. So, as we rejoin the group of you in Manchalona, having reached some form of decision, it seems like, the next morning, unless there's anything else that you wanted to do before morning dawns, where are you headed the next day?
Vera's going to do one thing real quick before she goes to bed. Oh shit, never mind. I don't have sending spells left because I used my third one. Never mind, can't do it.
Anybody else? No? Okay. So when morning does finally come here in Manchalona, somewhat seeming less reluctant than maybe it has in recent days. Several of the town's people come out, with the dawn and kind of shield their eyes from the brightness of the sun and kind of looking around as if they were expecting something worse. There's a lot of whispered conversation happening on the front stoops of buildings, shops that are opening. The shopkeeper has stopped preparation for the day to kind of converse with people. Little, not whispered, but hushed conversations kind of happening everywhere you look.
I think that Lox probably would have gone downstairs to see about rustling up some grub for the rooms. So he kind of makes his way downstairs and maybe sees some people sort of talking in hushed tones, and he'll go up to the counter and be like, just want to see about getting some food sent up to the rooms. I can carry it up myself. Everyone seems to be in high spirits today.
I can't remember if we had a picture for him or not. But you find your friend from the night before, who is just super enthused to be here. And he says, "Yes, I'll have something brought up to you right away." What excitement!
There just seems to be a lot of conversation and whatnot. Lots of people about early in the morning.
He kind of looks around. Some people are chatty in the morning.
Yeah, and some people aren't, I guess. All right. Well, thanks. What do I owe you for the food?
He very slowly starts counting again. You know that at least the last time that this took a little while.
Yeah, I think Guillaume is gonna like come down like right behind him and say, "Ah, yes, thank you so much. You know, actually, I don't think we are gonna need you to cook us food, but thank you so much for use of your kitchen facilities. They are lovely, and I would much appreciate if you just," and he's just gonna start moving like into the kitchen and like just start like preparing food, see if anyone stops him. Basically, it feels like they don't care enough to stop him, and he's going to test that hypothesis.
There is a half-hearted, like, but you.
Do you really want to be the one cooking all of this food? You don't seem to. Just sit down. It's okay. It's okay. We'll pay for what we use. Locks, throw a bit of silver the man's way. And I'm just gonna start getting like eggs out, sausage, just like whatever they've got in their like larder. I'm gonna start like making a good meal for us and the were rats we are with.
Lox sort of allows this to happen, knowing that the food will be much better for it. And he'll leave a few silver on the counter for the guy. And then, if possible, Jeremy, I'd like to just kind of like loiter around the counter for a little bit and see if I can pick up any like snippets of conversation going on.
Absolutely. All right. Give me an investigation roll.
17.
Okay. So even though these conversations are, I mean, private conversations, it's not really so much that people are trying to prevent someone from overhearing them. It's more just a, like what was mentioned earlier, almost like they're afraid to speak something into existence as if they're going to, cause it to disappear, or, that it's that frail of a thing. But everyone seems very surprised that there were no dead bodies in the streets last night. There was no shrieks of terror past like the very first of the evening when you fought these creatures. Everybody seems like reluctantly hopeful, I guess it might be the right way to put it.
Lox kind of sidles into the kitchen and maybe steps up alongside Guillaume and grabs a skillet and like flips some eggs that are cooking. I was feeling a bit dismayed that we didn't chase after those vampires last night, but seems like we may have done a bit of good. I think we bought this place a little breathing room.
Honestly, I feel good about it either way. We beat the shit out of those things. They were not expecting it, and that felt good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. It's just you and me here cooking, and I guess technically that guy, but he's like not listening, so clearly not listening. I was feeling kind of powerless. No, don't worry about it. I was feeling kind of powerless after the whole sucked into a demon book thing, and it was not great. It was not a great moment. Didn't love it. didn't love it, didn't want to do it again.
Right.
It was really nice to just exert violence on something. I felt like, I've been doing a lot of school, and it's a lot of theoretical, and like we've been doing a little bit of fighting here and there, mostly to like survive, but it's nice being on the offense for once. Like defensive fighting is always so like, ah, God, please don't stab me. Whereas like offensive fighting, feels a little better.
Lox is just kind of standing there listening to this, nodding along, and he just gets this kind of not a patronizing smile, but like just a wry smile of someone who has had to fight their way out of the gutter and was, baptized in blood at a very young age. And he just kind of like claps Guillaume on the shoulder and says, it did feel good to get him a little bit. Seems like we've been on our toes for a while. It was nice to see them on their toes.
Right? Like, I'm embarrassed to admit this, but every life or death struggle that I've been involved in, you've been there for. I'm pretty sure. Like it really started with that masked man that gutted you in that sewer. That was really like the first time I really felt like, oh shit, I could get killed here. And
Yeah, well,
it's
I
just
tried to
been,
warn you away from hanging out with me, Guillaume, but you see where
I
this led you.
know, but you were so interesting.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Excellent. So the two of you cook up breakfast, and you're able to eat a hearty meal here in the morning. And you hear much more of the same kind of snippets of conversation. People, saying, maybe it's over with. Maybe it's no longer something we have to worry about. And, somebody else saying, I bought that new charm only yesterday, and everything seems to be fine this morning. Things of that notion are definitely being shared around. People still look kind of peaked, a little drained, physically at least, but it seems as though maybe their spirit has gotten a little bit of a boost. All right. So, once the crew is up, about, ready to go, where are you headed? What's the plan?
I would like to take the were rats and just kind of address them. Duress Terosa Sapagio Valis. If you could all come with me, we would like to do a bit of reconnaissance work. We want to check out the Doge's mansion. Um, Now I was thinking that maybe the safest way for us to all get there was to transform ahead of time, go in a bag of some sort, be kind of let go, or we could all just walk over there together and transform. That maybe is easier. But kind of scurry about. I think just kind of get an idea, lay of the land, see who's there currently. If we were to burn the place down, who would we want to evacuate? Who would we want to make sure didn't evacuate? Things like that. Any rooms that need special attention if we were to infiltrate in a more humanoid form. Does that make sense to all of you?
Valis is the one who speaks up. She says, sneaking into a governor's mansion sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Oh, that's
Have
exactly
you-
what I hoped you'd say.
Have you swam yet?
As
As a rat?
uh, he thinks back. No. I think there was one opportunity, but it would have involved a lot of like swimming through shit specifically.
Very well, it's
And
settled then. She claps you on the shoulders. We swim in.
Okay, I didn't know that was an option, but let's do it if there's a good water route.
They all kind of like look at each other and kind of like laugh and chuckle,
It's a sewer, isn't it?
and they break into full-on laughter at this point.
It's always the sewer. Okay. All right, well, guys, we're gonna go check out the house through the sewer. So I will report back to you, I guess.
Great.
Maybe check out the outside, do what you can.
Yeah, we'll wander around town a bit, but we'll also make sure that there's a nice hot bath drawn for all of you when you get back.
Oh, I'll
Guillaume
be
gets to do all the fun
prestidigitationing
stuff.
myself immediately. Hey, I mean, Lox, if you want, I'm pretty sure like in a couple, like I think I'm like a week or two away from being able to like bite you and like make this like, if you want to be able to, I'm just saying, so far, no downsides. Silver, one downside, the silver thing. I do
Yeah,
like
no,
I prefer silver jewelry, but I can wear gold. There's white gold. White gold basically looks like silver.
Lox, if you're looking for someone to bite you to make you a were-rat, the king of rats is. I'm just saying it. You'd probably enjoy it.
Though Armand does bite well. Although I don't know about his were-rat making bites.
Well, I'd like to say I never combine business and pleasure, but, well, I'd be lying.
I mean, I was offering in a purely non-sexual way. I will say that. I'll just, if you were interested, if any of you are interested, I don't know if I can do it yet, but when I can, obviously. Silver is the downside. That is, yeah, it's a downside. People use a lot of silver in this city. At least in Aldalco they do. Like a lot of silver goblets. I've been noticing. You have to pay more attention to that and just like, oh, hey, I have an allergy. It's a little awkward.
All right. Well, good luck. Have fun. Swim well.
See y'all. Just
Once
fuck
Guillaume
off
leaves,
with
she
all the
looks at the rest
were-rats.
of the group and she goes, if we don't push him out the door, he's just going to find a reason to talk about things until he doesn't have to go.
Okay. So Guillaume and the were-rats. Sounds like a garage band. You make your way to the Doge's palace. There's quite a few people around, but they're going about the fairly normal routines of their day, albeit, this conversation about how the night did not pass the way that they thought it would. So making it close to the palace is not difficult at all. Nobody really pays you much attention. When you start to get a little closer, you start noticing that the general dress of everybody improves quite a bit. There are less vagrants hanging around outside. The streets are all cleaner. The buildings are larger. People's clothing is definitely more expensive. Less vendors in general. And then you get to the point where you don't see any merchants at all. At least not out on the street. There are proper stores here that you would have to go inside of. There you start getting a few kind of sideways glances. But for the most part, no one tries to interfere. No one tries to stop you. Um, looking around the outside, you notice that there is a wall that kind of goes completely around the perimeter of the castle. It's a proper keep. And in order to get into that like interior courtyard, you'll have to probably have some form of business, or at least the guise of business, to kind of enter through the gatehouse.
Hmm. Okay. It feels foolish to just go for it with these were rats without a plan. So let's see if I'm feeling foolish. No. I think seeing that there's no like obvious, there's no way to like, so there doesn't seem to be like a way to like get in even in rat form. Like it's like a full on like there's like a keep and then like a separate. Okay.
So there is definitely another way in other than going through the gatehouse, but that would be definitely through the exit of the water main here.
Yeah.
Like a
No. At this
grated
point,
opening that kind of
Guillaume
dumps out.
Guillaume, as hesitant as he has been, for the first time, he's with a bunch of were-rats who are like excited about like, oh no, you got to do this. Like this is how we do things. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's for the day. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. I'm a filthy rat who swims through shit. You know what? Valis, lead the way. And like I'll trust her, like her kind of experience and judgment as we shift, and I'll just follow her.
Okay.
I'm happy to go through the shit if that's what it means, if that's what it takes to figure out the easiest and best way to murder the shit out of Chimeran's abusive ass ex or whatever he is. Let's do it.
All right, fantastic. You all find kind of an out of the way place that's close to the, I guess you'd still call them banks, of this kind of culvert that leads out of the courtyard. This is a place where the palace itself is rather close to the wall. So your guess is this is probably why they chose this direction to kind of like carry the waste out of the palace from here. So you all find kind of like a small building to kind of duck behind and transform. And then following Valis, you make your way kind of darting across the small little cobbled area into the river, quote unquote, itself. And plunging in, I mean, it's pungent. It's strong, especially because your rodent nose picks up on way more nuance than your humanoid nose would. But somehow it's less repulsive. It's not as like retch inducing. There's something about it that is a little,
I imagine it's like he's picking up on the specific components that eventually became shit.
Right. More like
in
that.
a way
it's
where
more,
it's like,
like
it's
a
like,
flood
yeah,
of
like,
information.
yes, I am smelling every single spice and every single meat and every single vegetable.
Yeah.
But that's not that bad. That's like, oh, there's interesting ones. There's good ones and ones that I'm not as into in there. But like
Quickly
the
becoming a
overall
connoisseur.
effect is not the same as shit.
Right. Exactly. But also you notice that kind of once you get below the surface, that for the most part, you don't smell it at all. You are swimming through what is, fetid water, but it is water nonetheless. And it's actually somewhat kind of freeing to swim as in this form as a rat. Normally, whenever you swim, humans are not built well for swimming. We're just not. We kind of flounder around a little bit and we move like a frog. But rats seem adapted to this. You feel hydrodynamic would be, a great way to put it. You can feel the water kind of like moving easily across your fur. And there's a part of this it's actually pretty enjoyable. And as you're making your way in, there's several close calls where somebody seems like they, might spot you, and the group of you, the 5 of you, kind of like shrink into the shadows. There's almost this kind of heist atmosphere, and it's actually kind of fun. You find yourself feeling the thrill of this. I would like for you to give me a stealth roll, please.
$19.
All right. Before long, you find yourselves disappearing underneath the wall of the palace itself. There's a point where Valis kind of makes a motion to have you all stop. And you can hear a voice coming from above. And you notice, like, up above you, there's this circle of light. You realize that you are, in fact, at the bottom of a latrine. And after a moment, the voices disappear and it grows quiet. And then you are able to, as a group, make your way up the walls of this latrine and escape through the hole. You will find yourselves inside the palace of the Doge. This place is incredibly well appointed. There's polished marble and silver and gold inlay in the floors and in the columns. The frames on the windows look like they're probably elven made. Most of the stone looks like it's probably dwarven carved. This is an eclectic collection, but it all has been brought together with a very discerning eye for aesthetic. It all works very well together. In every room, especially in this size, in this scale, every room you come to is cavernous. Every footfall of the guards making their way here and there echoes loudly in your ears. Tremendous thunder. All of the talking, the voices boom, almost like you're in the House of Giants. At this point, Valis kind of falls back to you, and I'm assuming rats communicate with one another through some form of, squeaking, chirping.
Weakery.
Yeah. She says, "Well, what'll do? We're here."
We need to get an idea of where the master's chambers are, and if there's any study or laboratory that he has. So if we could split up, spend about half an hour looking, and then meet back here. It's also just try to get a general head count of who's here and what the layout of this place is. So if we could kind of split up wing by wing.
The other were-rats kind of nod in acknowledgement, and then you all go your separate ways. So, go ahead.
Oh no, nothing. Yeah, I was just gonna say I was just gonna kind of I'll pick a direction, kind of give a final nod, and turn back and turn and start like kind of scurrying away down, try to get an idea lay of the land.
All right. There's a lot
My-
of. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I was gonna say my real goal is to figure out like if there's any place where there might be information on what the Doge has done to Chimeran, like a laboratory, as some sort of library, or his chamber, something like that, like his bedroom, anything like that that I could maybe get information from.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of like moving from potted plant to potted plant, or from like statue plinth to statue plinth kind of thing. There's a lot of like waiting, biding your time, and then scurrying quickly across like, you know, an open space, sticking close to the walls, having to wait for somebody to open the door and then, you know, like scoot in behind them. But you know, as it just so happens, you are rather gifted at this, especially in this form. Again, like the swimming, it seems as though rats are kind of naturally adept at trying to remain mostly unseen. There's probably even a few points where you run across like actual rats, non-were rats, here and there. You might even use a few of their like hidden, you know, pathways or something to navigate. But eventually, you find yourself following a scent, something that you have probably caught on Chimeran at some point before, and kind of following this invisible trail, guided by your nose, you eventually find yourself in a room. Karen, what did Chimeran's room look like in this palace?
Oh, excuse me. It was probably pretty elaborate, very feminine, very opulent, and almost like every whim would have been satisfied in with the furniture. Um, like no, all the luxuries, nothing was held back. Like it wanted to give the appearance of giving everything to whoever stayed at this room. So the bed itself was probably carved um actually from the wall itself, carved into the wall, and it was huge. Probably could have fit about 3 to 4 people across the bed. It has drapes from the ceiling that would come down and surround it to kind of cover the sides. There would be a sitting area for lounging. This huge fireplace um, on the one wall. There's this vanity that was gilded with gold and made of mahogany, and um, maybe even with like this like almost like a jade top to it. So it's just very smooth. There's a chandelier in the room that is absolutely massive, hanging from the ceiling. One wall is floor to ceiling windows covered with this beautifully crafted um, silken drapes. Everything like is so finely crafted. the wood, there's wood carvings on the walls, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
And I think that's where this smell that you have kind of followed has led you, where it seems to kind of be the strongest, though it is fairly faint. You find yourself kind of drawn to like a desk, like a vanity, if you will, that has mirrors placed on it, and that seems to be where the smell's coming from, the strongest. This room is immaculately decorated, but you also get other smells here that don't really seem to fit. They don't seem to belong. And they're the smells of like a child. The smell of playing outside, of scraped knees, of food that has probably been dropped on the floor. That's kind of everywhere in this room, though there's no evidence of it other than the smell that you can pick up on.
I think I want to kind of go behind the door, like do a quick peek down the hallway, but then go back into the room, like shift into human form again, kind of push the door closed a little bit to have a little more freedom to walk around and look. I kind of want to just like, knowing that like this room smells of Chimeran, like I want to see, like, and with what we already know, I want to like just open up like the drawers of the wardrobe, kind of see like, has this room been kept as if expecting Chimeran's return, or are these other smells from some other purpose being used in this room?
Yeah, I think it's probably some form of like powder or perfume or makeup of some kind is kind of what you're smelling. Whatever it is that you discover seems to be something that maybe Chimeran still wears or has at some point since you have known him. But this looks like it's been here for a while. If it's makeup, it's cracked a little bit. It's been a while since somebody has used this. But the room definitely seems like, if this was a place where Chimeran stayed, and if he chose these decorations, it very much looks like it has been intentionally kept with the expectation that he will come back.
I wanted to just a very quick and dirty kind of toss this place. I don't care if I know that
okay.
Chimeran has no affection for anything in this room. Even if they do, they won't mind if I'm like, I just want to toss this place, see if there's something that's like something I should bring back for Chimeran, something that looks sentimental, or just anything that seems of value or interest. I kind of just want to like rip open. Just like, and I want to do like the classic, like making a mess burglar, like it's the cops looking for something at your house, not a burglar who maybe doesn't want to get noticed. It's like, nah, fuck this goes over there. Yeah, just ripping shit out of the, like, I want the Doge to know somebody was here once he sees this place.
All right. Sprinkle a little crack on him. Let's get out of here. So you just start like flipping the mattress over and going through the furniture, knocking things over. You end up discovering a couple of things that are noteworthy. First, when you pull the mattress back, there is no small amount of like sweetbreads and pastries and food sweets and things that have been like put under the mattress here, and clearly many of them had been forgotten about for a while. This definitely has the look of like a child has been storing these away, kind of thing. So that's one point of interesting note. The other is when you throw open the armoire, you find a wedding dress inside. It is a little kind of pushed to the side a little, and there's several like children's outfits of varying sizes in this armoire. But the wedding dress looks like it doesn't have any dust on it at all. It looks like it has been cleaned recently.
I think like his kind of like pulling stuff out of drawers rampage, like it comes to that wardrobe, like opens it up, ready to just start like ripping stuff out, and is like, like just kids' clothes and a wedding dress, and he's just gonna like, and just shut the wardrobe again, like, nah, whatever. I don't know what to do with that, and like. Maybe she does care about that, or like maybe he does care about that. I don't know what to call Chimeran. They're very confusing to me in my very limited worldview. But and then just continuing on, I think at this point I'm like, well, there's clearly some kid that's been staying here, but that isn't helping me figure out how to hurt the Doge. So I guess I'm just gonna keep looking. Try to keep scoping out his mansion. And then like on the way out, I'll just think like I really should have asked Chimeran if I should be looking for anything in particular before I left on this journey.
You hear a handle or a hand on the handle of the door.
Oh, rat form going under the bed.
Okay. You very quickly disappear under the bed, just in time to see a pair of shoes coming into the room, and kind of stops like 3 or 4 steps into the room, and you hear a small voice say, "Somebody's been in my room."
I'll shift back and say, very quietly from under the bed, shut the door and let's have a civilized conversation.
Oh, wow. All right. I'm going to roll a wisdom saving throw. Okay, interesting. The feet of this child kind of jump whenever you speak, and kind of you watch the toes kind of like pivot straight in your direction, and then like there's like a half step back towards the door, and then they turn towards the door and walk to the door and then close it.
I will quietly cast disguise. Oh, no, wait. I don't know if I have that prepared. Oh, shit. I don't have that prepared. Okay. Well, I will. I will go to hybrid rat form because that is less recognizable and maybe will be comforting to a child. And I'll.
Certainly.
Yeah, maybe. I said maybe. And I will.
Apparently, Austin has never seen The Witches of Eastwick.
I have not.
Or no, Witches. That's what it is. Witches.
Oh, the witch. No, haven't seen that either. Read the book, I think, when I was. But I will step out from under the bed in like this rat man form, say like, "Hi, and I'm again like just doing like a disguising my voice, like trying not to sound normal. Like, "Hi, I'm Rat Man." I'm friendly if you're friendly. So let's be friends. What's your name?
There's a lot of situations I don't ever picture in my brain. And this game is always putting me in those situations that I could never have
I
anticipated.
didn't expect a kid to come in here. I was
This-
expecting to like,
It's incredible.
you know, depredations of the evil Doge. And I'm like, oh, there's a kid. Well, gotta find out what we can. I'm Rat Man.
All right. you step out in this monster form, somewhere between a man and a rat. And you see before you a child of 7, 8-ish, somewhere probably around there. The hair color in this picture may not quite be accurate, because the color of the hair and the mannerisms of this child remind you a lot of Chimeran. This child kind of stares at you, kind of a little bit of like a little bit of horror, a little bit of curiosity as well. Always knew there was a monster under my bed.
Well, I don't live under there, if that is any consolation. I was just temporarily under there. I've never been under there before. I was only under there for a moment. You don't normally have a monster under your bed.
Were you like a visiting monster?
Something like that. Just a temporary monster. Just here to say hi. What's your name, kid?
My name is... Maybe I shouldn't tell you my name.
Oh, clever kid. But I am not one of the Fae. I am not one of the forest people. I promise I have no. I'm not asking you to give me your name, for example. I'm just asking what your name is. What can I call you? What's something I can call you? You have a nickname, a shortened name. Doesn't have to be your true name. That's okay. I understand. You're a smart kid.
Solvario the second.
So Silvario? Okay. The second.
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
call
be the
you.
Doge one day.
Oh, is your dad the Doge?
He nods.
Who's your mom?
He kind of shrugs.
You don't know?
He shakes his head. She ran away.
Right. Right. Um. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Fuck. I was like, let me just do a quick check. Do I have sleep? No, I do not. Okay. Not gonna kidnap this child because I can't put him to sleep. I was like, okay. So your dad, he's the Doge. Is he home? He's not home right now, right? He's out.
He kind of turns his head to the side a little bit, like regarding where this line of questioning might be headed. No, he's not here.
Okay.
The
And
steward
what-
is. And all of
Oh,
his
good.
guards. And I'm here too. And he kind of reaches down. He has a sword at his belt.
Yeah, you're the man of the house. That's no, nothing wrong with that. You're in, yeah. That's cool. Your father is the Doge, and you'll be the Doge someday. Um, has your father ever? Okay, real quick. Remind
Mhm.
me, Karen, how much has Chimeran told us? Like, has Chimeran revealed to all of us the dual gender thing? Like the
Yeah, you know that Chimeran is actually Isabel,
okay, cool.
and that she left before she was married.
Okay,
And I'm not sure if you were in the room
He was,
when
because Vera was kind of like calling it out about the fact that you admitted that she had a kid
yeah, so you also know I
previous.
had
okay, yeah, cool. So
Also,
I
just to throw into the mix again, Chimeran ran from this place about 3 years ago. Isn't that right?
right.
Karen?
This kid
Yeah.
is too old, but
Hmm.
something's weird. Something's
There
hinky.
is definitely some fuckery afoot.
Okay, I think all right, here's the tactic that this is just where his mind goes, and in the moment, this is what he's gonna say. Tell me, kid, have you've never met your mother, right? Would you like to?
Again, he kind of like turns his head to the side. You know where my mom is?
I do. I think I do. And listen, I don't expect you to trust me. I'm a strange rat man that's shown up out of nowhere in your mother's old bedroom. Um,
This is
I
my
get it.
bedroom.
Well, it's your bedroom now. I think it was your mother's bedroom at one time. It smells strongly of her. Trust me, rat knows. But I do know where your mother is, and I think she'd really like to meet you. And I think it might be good for you to meet her.
He seems kind of conflicted. Why doesn't she just come home?
Oh boy. Well, how old are you?
He kind of shrugs. I'm not supposed to say.
Because you look a little older than you should.
His eyes kind of like drop to the floor and he kind of shuffles around uneasily.
Hey, it's not your fault, kid. I'm not upset with you about it. It's not a problem. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Um, the reason that your mother doesn't come back is complicated. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Because
I
she
think
hates it
there
here.
are well,
And she
I
hates
think
me.
no, definitely not that. Definitely not that.
That's what my father
I think
says.
I think there's some parts of your father that you don't know about that are maybe hidden from you, that it's going to be really hard for you to understand and really hard for you to even hear, and probably take a lot of years for you to unpack what it means. And I'm probably not the best vehicle to deliver this information. I think that your dad is maybe not as great of a guy as you think he is. And again, I know this is going to be hard to hear coming from me, the rat man that crawled out from under your bed, but I really do want you to know I have no ill will towards you and no desire to harm you at all. Um,
You
even
aren't
your
the first
father,
monster I've seen.
really. I
No.
definitely want to know more about that. I don't know if this is the time. Well, no. What other monsters have you seen?
The man with the scary eyes.
What? Oh, okay. You're. I've seen a lot of people with a lot of weird eyes lately. Like there's been a couple of them. What kind of scary eyes are we talking about?
Again, he kind of shrugs and kind of shrinks into himself a little bit.
Hey, it's cool, man. It's cool. You're okay. You're okay, little guy. That's
He
look.
wears
I'm staying over here.
all the robes. He has rings on his fingers. Like father, but different. Father is scared of him. His father is not scared of anyone.
Does your father call this man like a padre by any chance?
He nods.
Okay, okay. Cool. Yes. Yes. No, you have seen, you know what, child, I'm gonna tell you, you're very brave. You're very brave. You've seen some monsters that make monsters scared. And here you are standing with your sword in your hand. That's commendable. Real quick, what's that sword made out of? Is that steel? The steel sword?
He kind of looks down at it. Metal?
Okay, okay, cool. I just want to look at it real quick just so that I know if I need to like run past this kid. Does that sword look silver at all?
Okay. No. It looks like it's, a steel sword.
Okay,
Looks like a
okay,
fairly
cool.
mundane weapon.
Just in case I need to like get out of here in a hurry. Like I'm not gonna try to hurt this child, so
No, it's just an implement of warfare on the belt of a 8-year-old child.
that's fine with me.
Normal
That makes
everyday
sense.
stuff.
That makes perfect sense. Um yeah, so listen, I don't know if you're interested, but how good are you at sneaking out of the castle? If you want to meet your mom, I think we could arrange that. Boy, this sounds really wrong. Like I get it. I wouldn't believe me if I were in your position, but I swear I really do know your mother. Uh has your father ever told you your mother's name? Because like I could use that as confirmation. I could confirm it for you, but I don't know if you know it. You
He
don't have to
shakes
say what
his
it is.
head.
You can just you don't know it. You don't know it. Okay.
We were told
Okay.
not to ask about her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh boy. Kid, I wish I knew how to, I wish I had the words. Your father is a very complicated man, and that's not a compliment. I I just don't think I'm the person to like you need a real trained
Where is my mother?
in the city.
In Manchelona.
Yes.
And if I get out of the palace, you can take me to her?
Yes.
And if you are lying to me?
I'm not, but I promise you that whatever happens, you will be free to choose at the end what you would like to do. If you'd like to return to the castle, we will help you accomplish that.
He kind of seems to be mulling things over. And kind of nods. If you are lying to me, I'm going to turn you into my father.
That's fair. I understand that.
He is not nice to people that he captures. Not nice at all.
No, I don't think your father's nice to most people. That's kind of one of the things that I think you're going to have to learn about from your mother. I don't think he was very nice to her.
He kind of looks around the room as if maybe he hadn't really thought of that before. He's kind of like re-looking at all of the things in the room that are now scattered around and tossed about. There's a place outside the gate. It's a sweet shop. I will have my steward take me there. Soon. Soon as I can. You should bring my mother there.
How about I meet you there and I take you to her? I fear that your mother may be worried if your steward, being that close to the castle, that your steward may try to capture her so that your father can continue to treat her unkindly.
He kind of shrugs and then nods. Very well. Then I will meet you at the shop, and then you can take me to her.
Here, as a show of goodwill. And I will shift out of my hybrid form just into Guillaume, back into my regular human form.
He kind of takes like 2 steps back. You are not a monster.
Not always. And I will kind of bow and say, my name is Guillaume. It's a pleasure to meet you, young master.
He gives like a very practiced bow. Is my mother kind?
Very.
This kind of seems to be like the resolution like that makes the difference in his mind. He kind of nods. You should leave. I will meet you later.
Very well. If you could crack the door open for me. And like as soon as he turns to like open the door or even look at it, I just want to shift back into rat form and just kind of scurry past him and out into the hallway back to the meeting place. I guess I'll do a little more like reconnaissance if I have time. But
probably between
yeah.
tossing the room and the conversation that you had and getting here and stuff, you probably feel like
I've probably burned my half hour.
Right, the agreed upon time is probably elapsed.
Yeah, I'll get back to the sewer grate then.
Okay. So you head back to the latrine, and with the rest of the were-rats, you're able to stealthily exit and swim out. Are you headed back to meet with the group first? Or are you going to go straight to waiting to meet the kid?
Oh no, I'm definitely going to go to the group. I have to let Chimera know what I just found out. Like,
gotcha.
Yeah. And like also debrief with the other were-rats, see if they found anything of interest if we end up going back.
I mean, their reports were more along the lines of what you would expect to find. One of them found the kitchens, one of them found, a library that was fairly well stocked. One of them found the Doge's bedroom, but nothing amiss.
And big question, like, did they run into a lot of people? Like, did it seem like there were a lot of people here, or is it pretty empty?
It seems to be fairly empty right now. With the Doge not being here, it seems like there's not really much reason for like dignitaries and court and all that kind of stuff to be present.
Okay, awesome.
So it's kind of mostly staff and guards.
Yeah, then I would just want to return with that information. Like, so Chimeran, do you want to sit down for a second? I noticed there. So there is a child in the mansion, the castle. Looks a lot like you. Little older than it should be, considering everything we know, but I'm pretty confident. If you catch my drift, do you get what I?
No, no. What are you saying?
You said you had a son, right? A child. You
I
gave birth to a child.
yes, I did. Yeah.
I think it's at the castle. I convinced him to sneak out of the castle. Well, maybe not sneak out, go with the steward. There's a candy shop. It sounds really gross and weird when I say that I'm gonna meet your son at a candy shop, but my goal was to meet your son at a candy shop and spirit him away from his father and parental influences.
The Doge is here.
No, no, no. The Doge is not here. The Doge is away in Hidalgo. It seems like the everything's good on that front. But yeah, I do you want to meet your son? I kind of thought you might, and I might not have another option, another opportunity to offer him the chance. So I kind of took it when I could. You don't have to show up, but I could go get him. I think he's gonna try to get out real soon.
I think you see Chimeran kind of stands up and he starts pacing the room, um, wringing his hands. And you're sure?
I'm pretty sure he looked a lot like you.
But I don't understand how this could be. He knows about me?
Well, it's the impression I got was that his father has fed him bits and pieces and, half truths. But he seemed real interested in learning that you were, a nice person, considering who his father is, or, his at least guardian. That doesn't, doesn't surprise me.
It's not a trap.
Is he a trap? Like is I mean, I don't think it's likely. This, if anything, like that, I might be in a little bit of danger for this from the steward. But if you hang back, I said I would take him to you, and maybe I can separate him from the steward, or maybe we can.
But then what? What? I mean, what do we do after we meet him? What do I do? I've never. Guillaume, what do we do?
Oh boy. This is the second time today that I've run into a situation where I feel like I'm really unqualified to tell people or like work people through things. I don't know what you should do, but I kind of think you should meet the kid. That's why when I saw the kid, I couldn't help but say I think I know your mom and she'd probably like to meet you. Uh which may have been untrue. I don't know if you really did. Sorry. Oh, I'm not good at this. And Guillaume starts just like sweating.
And I think Chimeran is still pacing, and you can see he's extremely anxious, but he's like, probably takes a moment then to hear what you just said. And it's like, no, no, of course I want to meet him. I just never expected I ever would. Um, and you're sure?
I mean, as sure as I can be, I literally have no idea what DNA is, so I don't know to ask for that. But he looks I've just never seen a kid and been like, wow, that looks exactly like this other person I know, and had them not been related in some way. And like, well, based on what we know, it just seemed likely.
I think there's kind of a little tentative smile. He looks like me.
Like so much. Like it's kind of weird. I was like, oh yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. We see you male all the time, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's like a grown-up version of that little boy. And
When is this happening?
he said he would come out as soon as he could. I was planning on coming in here to tell you and then going to watch the candy shop where I'm picking up that child.
Oh
You
my
said
God.
candy shop, right, Jeremy? I didn't say that.
I did say a sweet shop.
Okay.
Our game's now flagged by the NSA.
Dear God. I think that Chimeran is like just kind of nodding. You can see that he's already like probably miles away, and he goes to leave the room. In fact, he's in search of Sylvie at this moment.
Oh, I assumed we were all sitting in here watching this because
Oh,
we've all
were
been
we?
sharing the same room.
Yeah, I don't think
I was kind of
Guillaume-
picturing just everyone standing there, just like, whoa.
I think Guillaume did not quite have the like emotional intelligence to pull Chimeran fully aside to just like take Chimeran to like the other half of the room to be like, this is private-ish.
But it's one of those wonderful times where it's like you assume that it's just the two of you, but then the camera just kind of pans over at the end of the conversation and everyone else is just like 3 feet away, like listening to the whole thing.
Especially
Vera's
when
got like
Chimeran.
her freaking like pan flute that she was playing, and she just like has it up in her face, and she's just watching this.
Probably too, because Chimeran, goes to leave the room, forgetting that they are all actually still here. Oh dear God. Okay.
Right, so I'm gonna go watch the sweet shop. I think Chimeran, we should figure out real quick a spot that's easy for you to get out of if you need to make a run in a hurry that isn't here, so that they don't know that we're staying here. Let's say like the market. I'm assuming there's a market district. We'll meet at the edge of the market district. I'll bring the kid there, and I maybe the steward, so maybe the rest of you stay frosty. And then I will
But
say my goodbyes.
And as
Oh.
soon as he leaves, Chimeran realizes that Sylvie was still back in the room, comes back, goes up to Sylvie and goes, "What do I do? What do I say? What do I do? Sylvie, I want to see my son."
Why don't we go for a walk, huh? Get some fresh air, just for a little bit. You see,
Can't see him
Sylvie's
like this.
no.
Looking down at
Yeah, we will have time. There is always time for some fresh air. You see Sylvie like stand and kind of guide Chimeran. And once they're
I was just going to say, as
outside,
the two of you
yeah.
kind of go out and begin taking this walk, you notice that the dark clouds and stuff over Manchelona that have kind of been there most of the time seem to kind of be breaking off, as if like after a storm, and kind of like moving on. However, in the northeast, towards the mountains, it seems like those dark clouds are not going anywhere. There's almost this like looming presence. I mean, most of you have likely seen, tall mountains before, when they're not that far, really, as far as their scale goes from the edge of town, and they're kind of almost like looming over the edge of town, watching all of this. That is a backdrop. Please go ahead and continue.
So Sylvie pauses with Chimera and this is what you have wanted, no? This is what you have been fighting for all of these years, hoping.
I never really thought about it because I never thought it would ever be a possibility. I just, but now it's here and I feel lost.
That
I-
is understandable. You are about to meet your child who you did not even know, were not even certain was still alive.
I don't even know his name. What do I say to him? What if he doesn't like me?
No kid likes their parents, but it is
Face is stricken.
it is okay. It will be okay. You will care for him. I know this in the way that you have cared for everyone else in your life with such compassion and understanding, bravery. You just need to keep acting as how you have been. Protecting your friends, protecting your loved ones. He will see that strength in you. And he will love you for that.
Chimeran grabs your hands, and at this point, I think that's probably he's gripping them really hard. We can't just. What do? We can't just take him, but we can't leave him.
We could keep him safe. We have a house, or we know of a house with the highwaymen for now. He will be safe there.
Okay.
You are not alone this time. When you left, you had, what was your butler's name? He came
Vitor.
with you, Vitoria. Yes, you had Vitor, but you have Vera and Guillaume and Locks, and you have me. And we will not let anything happen to you or your son. I promise this, I
Come
swear.
after us so hard. You know this, right?
Of course,
The danger we'll be in.
of course. We have all crossed the river without blinking. We know of the dangers that was going to happen, and we were willing to risk our lives for complete strange women who were pregnant at the time, that was inconvenient. But for you, for our friend, we would do anything. And Sylvie holds Chimeran's cheek and looks into his eyes, and it does not matter what you say to him when you first meet him. You are his mother.
Chimeran looks at you, and his eyes are already filled with tears. And he touches the hand that you have on his cheek, and then he just leans in and gives you a kiss.
Sylvie like brings him in for a very tight embrace as they kiss, and you can see tears like down her face as well as she does so. And when they separate, she kind of quickly wipes away her tears. You have him. You need to believe this. He is here. He will be with you.
Thank you,
Now we should
Sylvie.
go before Guillaume does something or says something that
Something else.
yeah,
I need to change.
of course.
I think that with that, maybe they'll hurry back into up to the room, and Cameron will change clothing.
All right. I think that's where we're probably going to end the session. It's a good break, I think. Yeah, wow.
Right before the kidnapping.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Wow. Wow. That did not go exactly how I had anticipated, which was amazing and surprising and small, in part also disturbing. There's definitely some notes about this that are a little strange. But, you know, we find ourselves in unpredictable situations all the time. And I'm thrilled with a lot of the scenes that we got to have in this session. I think this was a really good session. Feels like it was. Man, so many different things spinning off and possibilities coming to fruition. I'm very, very excited to see how all this pans out. So I'm going to pass things back over to my players so that they can give any parting words that they like, say anything, touch on anything else that they would like to before we call it an evening. So we're going to start in reverse order with Kenya.
Hello, Jeremy. All of a sudden, I'm gonna die when I unmute my mic. Thank you so much for running this. Thank you for everybody for being so accommodating so that we could get in a session this month, because man, when we have to miss months, it is rough. It is a stretch that I do not like. No want. Fantastic game, fantastic people. I love that we ranged from go kill them, they're evil, to maybe we should make a deal with a demon or kidnap a child. Who knows? There was a lot of range in tonight's session. So I absolutely just adore playing with all of you. You guys are so wonderful. And I miss you all month long while this is not the game we were playing. So I will see you guys next month, and down to Matt.
Yeah, I'm Matt. And yeah, just lots of insane shit happened in tonight's session. Lots of good shit, but yeah, the half man, half rat emerging from under the bed to whisk this child away to their real mother, who loves them very much and is waiting for them just over here. It's the sincerity with which, Austin, you delivered that dialogue while fully acknowledging just how awful it sounded. It was just masterful. I could have watched that for hours. So thank you for that. I'm gonna pass it on over to Em.
Yeah, what a great session. So funny. Yeah, lots of range. But like Kenya said, thank you for being just everyone so accommodating, for switching things up. It's always a joy to play in this game because it is so different, and I mean that in the best way possible, from every other game. It really stretches my just acting and improv and seeing everyone else, lots of conversation, minimal dice rolling, no combat. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, thanks. I will pass it on to to the Rat Man.
I'm Ratman. I oh god, this game is so much fun. It is such a blast. And I like one of my favorite kind of like tropes is like the absolute worst person for a job accidentally being the one having to do it. And yeah, let's send that guy to talk to the poor like child with the abusive father. Like, oh yeah, this will go well. That was hilarious to me. Just that whole thing was really great. I that was one of the most fun scenes I've gotten to play, just from like, yep, then the rat hybrid comes out from under the, yeah, exactly that. Like everything about that was so perfectly calibrated to be like a bad fairy tale, like urban legend warning of like, then the rat man creeps out from under your bed and says, I know your mother. She's a real nice lady. She's so much nicer than your father, and she wants to take you away. And like, it's so awful and so true. So this was so much fun. I absolutely love this game. I probably will not be able to be here next month, which breaks my heart. We will see how things shake out. That's a month from now. Maybe we'll have figured shit out. Because yeah, it'll all be great. But thank you so much. This is so much fun. Even if I'm not here, I will be watching you guys and laughing along. So I will pass it along to Karen.
Wow, this was quite the session. I'm Karen. I'm also very the word's not torn, but filled with anxiety for the for the next session. It's going to be so hard. I was already in tears just listening to the poor kid talk to Ratman. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. This game just I never know what to expect coming into our sessions, and I am never disappointed with what happens in the game. It's so fluid and dynamic. It's amazing, and I thank all of you for coming along on this journey, and thank you, Jeremy, for everything you do, bringing this to life.
It is absolutely a labor of love. So thank you very much. Again, like it's hard to, especially whenever we have a crossroads like this, where there's three kind of distinct directions that you could go. It's hard to know where y'all are going to decide to go, and what I need to prep. So having a little bit prepped in several places is definitely seems to be the way that that best suits this game. And I did that, and I still had no idea that it was going to end up where it ended up. And it's awesome to have a good feeling for the setting and the characters and the way that they interact with the world and one another. To have that kind of assurance and that confidence to use that as a safety net for when I don't have things prepared as well as I would like. And that making decisions together as a group always feels, like you said, natural. It feels like it flows. It feels very organic in the way that it develops, and just kind of we find ourselves in these situations. But it all feels honest and genuine to the story that we're telling. And I still get to find ways to work in the things that I need to reveal. And that makes me very happy. It's very satisfying as a game master. So thank you for constantly being willing to give me the opportunity to throw things in your path and have you interact with them and have it radically change sometimes what you're doing. I had it planned where you would meet the NPC, the seer, this evening, and I didn't really know where or when, but whenever you were going to leave the city, I was like, well, she'll seek them out. That makes sense. I did not anticipate that it was going to throw you off the trail. Literally change the direction of what you were going to do for the evening. But I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, again, it felt natural, and I liked that. So, all that to be said, y'all are wonderful players. And I'm really, really happy that y'all are the ones that are playing in this game, and that you bring such tremendous work. Just every time y'all sit down, you're ready to go, and you're ready to just see whatever situation we find ourselves in through to the end. So yeah, it is deeply appreciated that you take that much care and responsibility with the story. So thank you. For everybody who may have watched along with us this evening, thank you very much as well from the bottom of my heart. I know that there's some people out there who tune in regularly, not an NPC. You're here almost every session, and that's fantastic. Those of you who can stop by and say hi in the chat. And it makes me really, really happy that there's people that are drawn to this story this much. So thank you for that. If you did tune in this evening and you haven't said hi before, say hi. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the stuff that the algorithm really likes to see so that it helps promote the channel and the game. Share the link around, talk about it with your friends, and yeah. This was a great episode, y'all. So thank you. Okay, last order of business. Just remember, please, that kindness is a free action, and it doesn't cost you anything at all to be nice to other people. And you never know what other people are going through. It might make a massive amount of difference in their day. I know that there have been days where I've been struggling and somebody has said something kind to me, and they didn't have to. It wasn't, something that I sought out. It just happened to come along at the right moment, and it changed my entire day, at the very least, if not my entire week. If that's the kind of situation that you might find yourself in, where it doesn't cost you anything to make that much of a difference in someone's life, to me, that's a no-brainer. That's an easy exchange. So go out and be nice. The world needs a lot more. So I think that's all that we're going to say, except for until next time, may your dice roll high and your snacks always be within reach.